You want your parking spot back? Sure thing, neighbor. TLDR. Entitled neighbor tried to claim public parking as his own. After some light surveillance and coordinated petty revenge involving friends, cousins, and a food truck, he backed off permanently. This happened a few years ago, but I still smile every time I think about it. I live in a pretty quiet suburban neighborhood. Families, retirees, that kind of place. Most people are friendly, but we had this one neighbor, let's call him Rick, who had this uncanny ability to make everyone, low-key, hate him. Rick was one of those rules for thee, not for me kind of guys. The type who'd report you to the HOA for having your trash bins out too early, but would leave his out for days. He constantly parked his massive pickup truck halfway over the line into my driveway, even though we have designated spots. Now, my house doesn't have a garage, just a driveway that fits 2 cars side by side. Rick's house is directly next to mine, and he has a similar setup. Problem is, Rick decided that the spot to the right of my driveway, technically public street parking, was his spot because it's in front of his house. Whatever, I never parked there unless I absolutely had to. But then I got a new job working nights, and I needed to park closer to home. The new job was stressful, and I'd get home around 3 or 4 a.m. with barely any energy to walk a block from guest parking. So one night, I parked in Rick's spot. It was late, the street was empty, and again, this is public parking. Next morning, I wake up to a passive-aggressive note stuck under my windshield wiper. This is not your parking spot. Please be considerate and don't park here again. I rolled my eyes and threw it away. Thought about ignoring it, that something told me that that wasn't going to be the end of it. Sure enough, the next few nights, every time I parked there, I'd find something new, a note, a mysterious smear on my window, even a handful of birdseed scattered across my hood, which, of course, attracted the neighborhood pigeons. Still no proof it was Rick, but come on, we all knew. I didn't want to escalate things, but one day I caught him red-handed. I had parked in his spot again because my own driveway was temporarily blocked by some tree-trimming trucks. I went outside around 9 a.m. and saw Rick hovering near my car, looking super suspicious. I stood there on my porch just watching him. He saw me, stiffened like a kid caught stealing cookies, and marched over. Rick, hey, just so you know, that's really inconsiderate. Some people have guests, you know? It's just rude to take someone's spot. Me, Rick, it's public parking. Anyone can park there. Rick smirking. Yeah, but you live here. You've got a driveway. It's just about being a good neighbor. Oh, so now he wants to talk about being a good neighbor. I didn't argue. I just nodded and said, sure, Rick, no problem. You want the spot? You got it. And thus, the petty revenge phase began. Step 1. Learn thy enemy's habits. Rick was a creature of routine. He left every morning at 7:30 and was usually back around 5. On weekends, he was gone for a few hours in the afternoon, probably going to the gym or whatever midlife crisis hobby he had. So I decided to start parking my car elsewhere, but not where he could see. I'd park down the street, then walk back home around the block, so it looked like I wasn't home. Rick took the bait and parked in his beloved spot every day. Smug as hell. Then 2 weeks later, I had my cousin, let's call her Jess, move in temporarily. She was between apartments and just needed a place for a month. Jess is chaotic, good, personified, and loved the idea of getting in on this. I told her the whole story, and she said, cool, I'll take the spot. And take it she did, every day. Sometimes with her car. Sometimes with my other cousins. Sometimes with my mom's. We made a whole system out of it. Rick started getting twitchy. He tried leaving a note again. Jess responded by leaving one of her own. Thanks for the spot, King. He stopped leaving notes after that. Step 2. The parking swap. Now, our house technically had room for 3 cars if we squished together tightly enough, but Rick didn't know that. So I moved my own car into our driveway, Jess kept using the public spot, and I had my boyfriend start parking his old beater of a car in front of Rick's house whenever he visited. Oh, Rick hated that. He left another note, this time addressed to all residents, read, "Friendly reminder. Please do not park in front of other people's homes. It's just basic courtesy." We ignored it, then printed out a response in the same font. "Friendly reminder, that's not how public parking works, Richard." We taped it to his mailbox. Step 3. The ultimate move. Here's where things went from petty to poetic. Our friend Megan works for a local community college and needed a place to keep her food truck. Yep, a literal food truck, while she was on vacation. Jess, ever the schemer, offered our driveway, but suggested that we park my car in front of Rick's house for the 2 weeks Megan would be gone, and her car in his precious spot. Then we'd squeeze the food truck onto our driveway just to make it all the more dramatic. Rick came out the first day the food truck arrived and looked shocked. He stood there with his mouth open, watching us adjust it back and forth until it fit. He said nothing, just glared. We parked in his spot every day for the next 2 weeks like clockwork. Step 4. The HOA meeting. Now here's the cherry on top. Rick tried to raise a formal complaint at the next HOA meeting. He brought up abuse of public parking, claimed he was being targeted, and asked if there could be assigned resident-only parking zones. It backfired spectacularly. Several other neighbors chimed in with their stories. Turns out Rick had been pulling similar stunts with other people too. One guy said Rick slashed his tires once but couldn't prove it. Another said Rick tried to block a moving truck because it was too noisy. The HOA president finally shut it down by saying, "We're not assigning public spaces. It's first come, first serve." Maybe we all just need to respect each other's boundaries a little better. Rick hasn't brought it up since. The aftermath. Eventually, Jess moved out. Megan took her food truck back, and I stopped parking in his spot. Mostly because by then, Rick had stopped trying to claim it. Now, he parks on the other side of his own house. Quiet, beaten, humbled. He even waves at me sometimes. I wave back, with a smile.
Today I messed up by trying to order oysters for the first time. TLDR, tried oysters abroad for the first time, but due to a language barrier I actually ordered a dangerous kind of mussel that can be toxic if not prepared correctly. Got violently ill, almost needed hospitalization, and learned a very expensive and painful lesson in seafood safety, default text. So, this actually happened about a week ago, and I'm just now starting to feel human again. I'm safe, I'm home, but holy hell, I would not wish this on my worst enemy. I was traveling solo through southern Europe, won't name the exact country because the point of this post is not to bash anyone, just to share my stupidity, and had been wanting to try oysters for the first time. I'd never had them before, raw or cooked, and I figured when in Rome not actually Rome. I found this cute seaside restaurant that had pretty good reviews and looked like the kind of place that would have fresh seafood. Now, here's where I screwed up. I don't speak the local language beyond the usual touristy pleasantries, and the server didn't speak much English. But I had done a little Google Translate prep ahead of time. I pointed to what I thought said oysters on the menu and asked raw or cooked, while pantomiming with my hands like a complete idiot. The server nodded enthusiastically and said something like yes. Special mussels, very fresh. I just thought maybe that was their word for oysters, or that the translation was off. Spoiler, the translation was very off. Food comes out. They didn't look like the oysters I've seen on TV, but I figured there's regional variation or something. I took a bite. Taste, honestly, not bad. Kinda chewy, a little funky, but not awful. I ate about half the plate before my stomach started feeling a little off, then very off. Fast forward to 4 hours later. I'm in my hotel bathroom, praying to every god I've ever heard of while simultaneously Googling can oysters cause immediate food poisoning with shaking hands. Over the next 24 hours, it got much worse. Sweating, chills, vomiting, everything you can imagine. I ended up at a local clinic where they gave me fluids and something to calm my system down. The doctor asked what I'd eaten, and when I showed him a photo of the dish I had posted to my Instagram story like a dumbass, he just slowly shook his head. Turns out I hadn't eaten oysters at all. I'd been served a local species of mussel that's considered a delicacy, if prepared properly. Apparently, they contain toxins that are super dangerous if not handled or cooked exactly right. Like, people have actually died from these things due to improper prep, so yeah? I didn't just get regular food poisoning. I got the deluxe version. I was told I was lucky I didn't eat more or it could have affected my liver or heart. Liver, from mussels. Crazy. Anyway, I'm back home now, slowly returning to normal, and very grateful I didn't need to be medibased. But let this be a lesson, don't assume you understand the menu, and never eat a very fresh special anything if you can't have a full conversation about what it actually is. Also, still haven't tried real oysters, not sure I ever will now. Comments. I got food poisoning from undercooked mussels once, and I swear I saw the face of God in the grout lines of my bathroom floor. You are a warrior. This is why I only eat food I can pronounce. If it sounds like it might fight back, I send it back. Glad you're okay, op. That's terrifying. Wait, so, did you still not get to try real oysters? That's the real tragedy here.
What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.